Good morning, children. Yesterday we started the lesson Bhakti Path. Yesterday only we started this lesson Bhakti Path. Now we have to study the remaining part of the lesson Bhakti Path. Now we are studying about Mirabai. We are studying about Mirabai. Who was Mirabai? Then we have to think. We should learn or we have to study about Mirabai. Who was Mirabai? Then we should learn. We have to study Mirabai. Mirabai was the princess of Mewar. She was the princess Rajkumari of Mewar. Even though she was married, she began to show interest in spiritual life. She was married, that means from the childhood onwards. Mirabai showed interest in spiritual affairs. But because of the help of the encouragement of the parents, or because of the compulsion of the parents, she was married to the Mewar prince. But she did not stay there. Mirabai did not stay there. She began to show interest in spiritual affairs. Then what happened? Mirabai was not able to adjust with her mother-in-law. She left the palace. Mirabai left the palace. Mirabai left the palace. Then her beloved God was Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna was her beloved God, Lord Krishna. And she travelled in different parts of North India, mainly Rajasthan and Gujarat. She travelled mainly Rajasthan and Gujarat areas. She mainly travelled in Rajasthan, Gujarat areas. And she spoke to the people of Rajasthan and Gujarat about whom? She spoke to the people of Rajasthan and Gujarat about Lord Krishna. And she made so many bhajans. In those bhajans, she described about the greatness of Lord Sri Krishna. In those bhajans, she described about the greatness of Lord Sri Krishna. She told that salvation should be our idea. She told that salvation should be our idea. Salvation means moksha. See, that means Mirabai told that our idea should be to get moksha or salvation. Mirabai told that we want moksha or salvation. In order to get moksha or salvation, what we have to do? In order to get moksha or salvation, what actually we have to do? We should pray before Lord Sri Krishna. That was idea of Mirabai. So, she visited so many temples of North India and she sung her bhajans there. She really sung her bhajans there. And Mirabai was known as Radha of Mirabai was known as Radha of Kaliyuga. So, during the time of Mirabai, Bhakti began to reach the zenith of its glory. People of North India mainly was influenced by the teachings of Mirabai. By the teachings of Mirabai, people of North India was really influenced. Bhakti began to develop in North India during this time. So, Bhakti movement began to develop in North India mainly because of the work of Mirabai. So, Mirabai is known as one of the most important Bhakti saints or Bhakti sannyasis. Mirabai was known as one of the most important Bhakti sannyasis of North India. So, the contribution of Mirabai in the field of Bhakti movement was great. Mirabai. This was the contribution of Mirabai. Then do one thing. Now we have to study about Sufi saints. Sufi saints. Sufi saints came to India from Persia. Sufi saints came from the land of Persia. Sufi saints. They were known as Pir. Their name was Pir. Sufi sannyasis began to use less quality or low quality cotton cloth. Sufi sannyasis began to use less quality cotton cloth they used. So they were known as Sufis. They led a life of humbleness or a humble life they led. Sufi sannyasis began to live a humble life. Humble life. They told that. Who told that? Sufi sannyasis told that we have to show our love and we have to show our love and affection towards the God. Then they told that through dance and music. Through dance and music, what we can do? Through dance and music, we can attain the blessings of the God. This was the idea of Sufi sannyasis. In Urdu language, Hindi language, etc. There are so many poems and songs. There are so many poems and language and in Hindi language, there are so many poems and songs. And Sufi sannyasis were against caste system. Whatever may be the case, Sufi sannyasis never supported caste system. They were against the idea of caste system. Whatever may be the name of the caste, we can attain moksha. That was the idea of Sufi sannyasis. There were so many sections of people. There were so many sections of people among the Sufi sannyasis. Minimum 10 sections are there. Minimum 10 sections are there among the Sufi sannyasis. See, Shishunara Sharifa was another important person who inspired the people of India. Shishunara Sharifa. During 1819 period, he was born in Gadak area. He was born in Gadak area. During 1819, he was born in the Gadak area of Karnataka state. And one problem was that he studied all of the religions in its original form. Shishunara Sharifa studied all the religions in its original form. Shishunara Sharifa. They studied all the religions. They studied about all the religions of India in its original style or its original form. He studied Hindu religion, Islam religion, and other religions. He was against caste system. Shishunara Sharifa was against caste system. Shishunara Sharifa was against caste system. He told that it is meaningless to believe in the caste system. That was the idea of Shishunara Sharifa. Then Shishunara Sharifa was interested in universal brotherhood. Shishunara Sharifa was interested in universal brotherhood. He really told that caste system is a meaningless thing. That was the idea of Shishunara Sharifa. He believed in universal brotherhood. He also wrote so many poems. He also wrote so many poems and songs. He wrote so many poems and songs. So, Shishunara Sharifa was an important person who lived in the land of Karnataka state. Then, another name I will give which is not there in our testimony. He was known as Kabira of Karnataka. He was known as Kabira of Karnataka state. Kabir lived in northern side of India. Kabir. Likewise, like Kabir, Shishunara Sainifa inspired the people of India or the people of South India. He was a mystic poet. I will tell you what is the meaning of mystic poet. This same topic, children, you had studied in your 7th class. Now you are 9th class now. Same topic you had studied in your 9th class. You studied in your 9th class and in your 7th class. Now you are 9th class, the same topic you have studied in your 7th class. What is the meaning of mystic poet? During that time I had told you. I had explained to you what is the meaning of mystic poet. Mystic poets are those poets who are thinking or who are believing that they are writing poems to satisfy the God. And they are writing poems with the blessings of the God. That is the meaning of which one? That is the meaning of mystic poets. Mystic poets. So, Shishunara Sainifa was the first Muslim mystic poet of Karnataka state. Then, we are going to study about Purandara Dasa. Purandara Dasa. Purandara Dasa was an important Purandara Dasa also is known as or is considered as an important person who lived in the land of India. He was born in the land of Maharashtra. He was born in the land of Maharashtra, Purandara Dasa. By profession, he was a goldsmith. By profession, he was a goldsmith, Purandara Dasa. His name was Senappa in the beginning. He was Senappa. In the beginning, he did not show interest in spiritual matters, Senappa. But afterwards, because of the influence of his wife, what happened? He began to show more interest in spiritual field or spiritual affairs. Who began to show? Senappa began to show interest in spiritual affairs. He gave his money to the poor people. When he gave all his money to the poor people of Maharashtra. And he wandered from one place of India to another place of India. Then he is known as father of he is known as father of Carnatic music. Karnataka Sangeeta Pidamaha. That is the name of Purandara Dasa. He believed in Lord Mahavishnu. He believed in Lord Mahavishnu. He believed that if he is believing in Lord Mahavishnu, he will get moksha. He told to the people of India also. He told to the people of India also to believe in Lord Mahavishnu. He told to the people of India also to believe in Mahavishnu. he told to believe in Mahavishnu. So he was known as Purandara Dasa. And he visited the palace of Krishnadevaraya also. He visited the palace of Krishnadevaraya also. Krishnadevaraya was a Vijayanagara king, about whom we had studied earlier. Krishnadevaraya invited Purandara Dasa to his palace. Krishnadevaraya really invited Purandara Dasa to his palace. And he traveled from one side of India to another side, telling about Lord Mahavishnu. He told that in order to get moksha, we have to believe in Lord Mahavishnu. He told that inner and outer, Purandara Dasa told that inner and outer sincerity should be there. Then only we can attain moksha. This was the idea of Purandara Dasa. Dear children, once more I will tell Bhakti Path. Yesterday only we started this lesson, Bhakti Path. Yesterday we started the lesson Bhakti Path. This lesson, yesterday only we started Bhakti Path. Yesterday only we started. Yesterday we studied about so many people who inspired the people of India. We studied about them. Now today we have to study about Mirabai. Mirabai. She was born in the state of Rajasthan. She was the princess of Mewar. What is the meaning of princess? Rajkumari. She was the princess of Mewar area. But from childhood onwards, what happened? Mirabai did not show interest in material life. She did not show any interest in the case of material life. She did not show any interest in the case of material life. She showed interest in spiritual life. Then she believed that, what she believed? She believed that Lord Sri Krishna asked her husband, Mirabai believed. Always Mirabai was doing puja before Lord Sri Krishna. Before Lord Sri Krishna, Mirabai was doing her pujas. Then, because of the compulsion of the parents, she married the princess of Mewar, Prince of Mewar, Rajkumar. Because of the compulsion of the parents, father and mother, she married the Prince of Mewar area. But what happened? In the palace, in the Aramane also, Mirabai did not show interest in material life or in family life. So, disagreements happened between she and her mother-in-law. She left the palace. She left the palace. She wandered throughout North India. She wandered throughout North India. Mainly, she wandered in Rajasthan and Gujarat areas. She made bhajans or songs about Sri Krishna. People gathered around her to listen to the music or to listen to the songs. They gathered around her to listen to the music or the songs. And she told to all the people that it is easy to get salvation or moksha if we are praying before Sri Krishna. So, she made so many songs and poems about Sri Krishna. They were known as bhajans. She told that our idea is to get moksha or salvation. After death, what we want? After death, we want moksha or salvation. For getting moksha or salvation, we should pray before Sri Krishna. So, because of these reasons, she was known as or called by the people as Radha of Kali Yuga. She was known as Radha of Kali Yuga. At the northern side of India, she established so many temples of her. So, Mirabai is known as one of the greatest bhakti sannyasis of India. Mirabai. Then, Sufi sannyasis or Sufi saints. Sufi sannyasis or Sufi saints. Sufi sannyasis came to India from northern side of Persia. From the land of Persia, they came to India. They are known as Pir. Meaning of the word Pir means teacher. Sufi sannyasis were greatly studied people or learned people. They are known as Pir or teacher. They were wearing soft clothes or old or very rough type of cotton clothes they were wearing, so that they were known as Sufis. They led a humble life. They did not engage in luxurious life. They led a humble life of the only a humble life they led. They did not believe in luxurious life. They believed that love and affection towards the Lord is the only way to attain moksha. They believed that dance and music programs were the easy way to get the support of the Lord. There are songs and poems in Urdu and Hindi language. They were against caste system. Really, there are about 10 sections of Sufi sannyasis. So, Sufi sannyasis really provided. Sufi sannyasis really provided. Which one? Sufi sannyasis really provided. They really provided spiritual knowledge to the people of India. Then, Shishumala Sharifa. Shishumala Sharifa was another important Sufi sannyasi. Shishumala Sharifa was another important person who revived the religious field of India. During 1819, he was born in present Gadag area of Karnataka state. Then, he studied all the religions in its original form. He studied all the religions of India in their original form or in their original shape. He studied Islam religion. He was born as a Muslim. He studied about Islam religion. He studied about Christian religion, Zoroastrian religion, Parsian religion, Jainism and Buddhism. He studied in their original shape. So, he understood the reality that, what he understood? Shishumala Sharifa understood the reality that the meaning of all the religions are same. He understood. What the sannyasis and Sufi saints told was right. All the religions are the same meaning. Who told? Shishumala Sharifa told. He told that all the religions are same. Or the inner meaning of all the religions are same. That was idea of Shishumala Sharifa. That was the real idea, or that was the real opinion of Shishunala Sharifa. He told that the inner meaning of all the religions are seen, he told. The inner meaning of all the religions are seen. That was the opinion of Shishunala Sharifa. He was against caste system, Jati Sampradaya. During those days in the land of India, especially in the land of Karnataka, what was there? In the land of India and in the land of Karnataka, caste system was there really. Caste system was there. That means, during those days, Indian Hindu religion was divided into so many castes. Indian Hindu religion was divided into so many castes. It was believed that Brahmins came out from the mouth of Brahma. Brahmins were doing only puja or teaching what they were doing. Brahmins. They are not doing other things. Then what happened? Kshatriyas came out. Kshatriyas came out from the shoulder puja of Brahma. It is our puja that is having more power. Our puja is having more and more power. He believed that they came from the puja of, people believed that they came from the puja of Brahma. They were the ruling class, Kshatriyas. They were soldiers. Next one was Vaishyas. Vaishyas came from the stomach of Brahma. Vaishyas came out. Vaishyas came out from the stomach of Brahma. Vaishyas. Then what happened? Vaishyas were doing banking business. They were running shops. That was the specialty of Vaishyas. They were rich people in the society. Next one was Shudras. Shudras really were the people who came from the legs of Brahma. They were servants of other three sections. So what happened? He was against caste system. Who was against? Shishunala Sharifa was against caste system. He told that we should believe in brotherhood. He wrote so many poems and songs. He wrote so many poems with the blessings of God. He believed that. He really believed that. What he believed? He really believed that. He was writing poems with the blessings of the God. And he was writing poems to get the blessings of God. So, he was the first Kannada mystic poet of Karnataka. He was known as Kabira of Karnataka. That was a specialty of Shishunala Sharifa. That was the real specialty of Shishunala Sharifa. Then we should study about Purandara Dasa. Purandara Dasa was born in Maharashtra state. Purandara Dasa. He was born in Maharashtra state. By profession, he was a goldsmith. He was a miser in the beginning. He was not spending money in the beginning. But gradually, because of the influence of his wife, what happened? Because of the influence of his wife, he became a spiritual person. His real name was Serappa in the beginning. He distributed his property among the poor people and gave money to the poor people. He was an ardent believer, or he really believed in Sri Krishna or in Mahavishnu. He told that if you want to attain moksha or if you want salvation, we have to believe in Mahavishnu. Ultimate devotion to Mahavishnu or final devotion to Mahavishnu is the only way to attain moksha. devotion or bhakti to Mahavishnu is the only way to attain moksha. That was opinion of Purandaradasa. Purandaradasa is known as father of Carnatic music. Purandaradasa is known as father of Carnatic music or Karnataka Sangeeta Pidamaha. That was the name of whom? Purandaradasa. He traveled from one side of India to another side of India by singing songs about Mahavishnu. Then he came to South India also. He visited the palace of Krishnadevaraya. Krishnadevaraya respected him as a great person. Purandaradasa told that we should have inner faith and outer faith also. Who told? Purandaradasa told. So, Purandaradasa is known as or considered as one of the greatest bhakti sannyasis of India.